Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video we are going to be reviewing the new Oden's Christmas collection. I am wearing holiday PJs that go with one of these palettes to get in the mood for this review. Super excited that Oden's continues to bring us the holiday joy in their eyeshadow palettes. This is the third time in a row that they do a super Christmassy over-the-top collection in a palette, and I have been loving them. I think so far, without having opened the new palettes yet, the first collection 2 years ago was my favorite, which came back the last holiday season. Last year's holiday palettes were beautiful as well, but like the first ones were super special. From what I've seen though, I'm very excited about this year's collection, and not only do they have two different eyeshadow palettes, Rosy Jingle and Silvery Bliss. I am matching Rosy Jingle today. But they also have a Christmas bells inspired teeny tiny mirror. And I believe this is probably something you'll get when you buy the palette. The palettes are going to retail for $43.50 each, 43 something. And I do of course have my Oden's discount code that you guys can use. The code is PATTY10 and it gets you 10% off of their website. Besides these two palettes, last year palettes are going to come back as well in case you missed out and you want them. Last year we had the Snow Dream palette and the Hay Reindeer palette. Before we even get into this year's palettes, here's a reminder of what these two looked like. And now let's go ahead and get into the nitty-gritty of the palettes I'm going to be reviewing today. Each palette is going to be $43.90, not $43.50. They do have a bundle with all four palettes on their website for $111.94, which is a really good deal because you can still add the 10% over that. And if you were to buy the palettes individually, they would be $175, so $111, that's like $60 off before the 10%, which is really nice. They have last year's silk scarves back for $5.90. And then I'm not seeing the little Christmas mirror on sale, so I think this is a gift with purchase. If you're interested in shopping this collection or anything else Oden's don't forget to use the code PATTY10. And let's go ahead and get into the palette. Here is the Silvery Bliss eyeshadow palette, which has green and a big red bow all around. I do always love how over the top holiday-y these palettes are. Like the beautiful artwork at the front of them is super Christmassy every year, and then here once you open them is what things look like on the inside. First impressions, I already wish that there was more green. There's only one green shade for as green as the palette is on the outside, and it is this one down here called Reminiscence, which is a very cool tone dark green. Also, first impressions, you guys know how I feel about red eyeshadows, and there's 4 different red eyeshadows on this palette, which is just not my personal favorite thing, but some people love them. Besides that, I do love that we have some beautiful frosty shimmer shades and some really nice transition shades for the crease. Let me show you the other palette, which is my favorite. Here is the Rosy Jingle palette, and as you can see, this one has pink all around and a big pink bow on top of the bell. Once you open it, we have the same artwork on the inside here, and then here is the color story of the Rosy Jingle palette. First impressions on this one, I absolutely love the yellow shades that we can find in this palette. There's 3 different yellows. The color Celebration Heart here has so many different tones to it. The shade Champagne is beautiful. And then I love soft matte shades like Gentle Memory, Pink Dream, Joyful, Sweet Memories, and Blue Cream. So I am thinking this is going to be my favorite. I absolutely love this color story. We'll see once I swatch it. But yeah, I'm very excited about this one in particular this year. Let's begin by swatching Rosy Jingle. Here's the shade Gentle Memories, New Year Wishes, which is one of the light yellow gold shimmers, Rosy Jingle, which is the name of the palette, and Celebration Heart, which this light shimmer is one that has a ton of different colors in there, as like a multi-chrome shade. On the second row, we have the shade Sparkling, which is a very light icy blue. We should have had a shade like this one in that Huda Beauty palette. Pink Dream is a very light baby pink shade. Champagne, which is a beautiful orangey shimmer. And then the shade Joyful, which is a matte yellow. Take a look so far at what things are looking like. This one is super reflective, so you guys are not really seeing the blue, but it's a light icy blue shade. Row number 3, we have shades like Sweet Moments, Radiant, which is a very yellow shimmer, Warmth, which is a beautiful taupey color. I love shades like this one. And Pure Silver, I also love shades like Pure Silver, which is actually not a silver shade. It's like a super light, mauvey, very reflective metallic shimmer shade. It's beautiful. And then the last row, this color here is called Dream, which is a beautiful, reflective, metallic lavender color. Blue Cream, which is a matte lavender shade. Golden Bell, which is a very pigmented, super metallic, very reflective, dark gold shade. And Toffette, which is like a satin shade, I think is what I could call it. And it's a very warm, bricky looking shade. So take a look right here. These are the swatches of the Rosy Jingle palette. Honestly, really loving all of them, in particular the shimmer shades like these, that one, this one. Honestly, all of the shimmers are incredible. So now let's go ahead and swatch Silvery Bliss. Here's row number 1. We have the shade Wishful Dream, Silver Stream, that's a beautiful duochrome, Cocoa Milk, very chocolatey, and the color Golden Cup, which is a beautiful orangey gold type shimmer. Here is row number 2, and we have shades like Vision, which is like a super dark black shade with pink sparkles. Vintage Memories, which is one of the matte red colors. Pink Fantasy looks like a beautiful shimmer duochrome. And Chocolate Cake, which is another one of those very red looking matte shades. Row number 3 has shades like Softness, which is a beautiful mauvey purpley type matte color. Silvery Bliss, which is a very reflective metallic shade. Pure Red, another matte red shade. And Golden Glam, which is a beautiful gold shimmer shade. And then the last row, which we have Holiday Wishes, red shimmer shade with gold sparkles. Reminiscence, which is a very, I guess now it looks gray, but I promise you it has some sort of green undertone to it. Longing, which is, wow, a beautiful shimmer shade. And lastly, New Year's End, which is this black color. So finally, take a look right here. These are the swatches of the Silvery Bliss eyeshadow palette. This color here, which it's translating very gray, has the creamiest, most pigmented matte formula. It's swatched like an absolute dream. And then I love most of the shimmers in this palette as well. Very reflective, metallic. I love Oden'S eye shimmers, and their mattes are really good as well. Color story wise, definitely still loving the Rosy Jingle palette best. So here's the deal. Since I'm not as in love with the Silvery Bliss palette as I am with the Rosy Jingles palette, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one look using the shades that I do love from this one, and then I'm going to take that off and create 2 different looks using the shades from Rosy Jingle. I hope that's okay. I'm of course going to be using my REPHR brushes for my eyeshadow looks, which REPHR brushes is having the biggest sale of the year right now. All of their brush sets are 50% off or more. The link is down below in the description box. Definitely check out this sale if you're interested in REPHR brushes, because like I said, it's the best sale of the year, which is happening right now till supplies last. So for my first look, I'm going to start with REPHR number 15, which is a big, round, fluffy brush, and the shade Softness here. I love shades like this one because they make for really nice transition shades. And I love that they're nice and cool toned with a hint of like a purpley hue to it. I'm adding it onto the outer third of my eyelid and into the crease, and then blending it forward, just like that, with a REPHR number 14, which is a small round blending brush in the shade Wishful Dream. I'm going to run that lighter pink color through the top edge to soften things up a bit up here. And then I actually was thinking of using chocolate cake because I think it'll go well with that one. I'm going to do that. I'm going to use chocolate cake. Even though I was hating on the reds, I'm still going to use it. So here's the shade Chocolate Cake, and I'm blending it into my mauvey crease. Let me clean up this outer edge a bit more chocolate cake, and blending it inwards. I want to keep darkening up things, so same brush, which I don't know if I said it, but I'm using a REPHR number 1, which is a pinched blending brush, and I'm going to use the shade Reminiscence down here because I have to. It's swatched so beautifully, and I'm going to intensify everything. It doesn't look green at all anymore, but I swear to you, when I first saw it on the pan, it had the slightest hint of green. Anyways, here's Reminiscence on the outer third of the eyelid, and blend it in a bit. And it's a very pigmented shade. You barely have to dip your brush in the pan to get it to look very, very pigmented. I think I want to use the shade Vision here, which feels very creamy. And it's like a very dark, almost black shade that has some pink sparkles on it. And I'm patting it with my finger. I don't know why I chose my finger, but here we are, patting it with my finger on the outer third of the eyelid. Don't hate it, that looks kind of cute. Then with a flat brush, I'm going to grab the shade Longing down here, and I'm going to put it on the center of the eyelid towards the back until it meets with the previous shade. Just tapping, and I'm using a flat brush from REPHR. This is the REPHR number 28. Then I want to use the shade Silvery Bliss with the same brush, and I'm using it in the center of the eyelid towards the front. I cleaned my brush, and this is the shade Pink Fantasy I'm grabbing next. And I'm going to add it on the inner third of the eyelid, honestly. And I'm going to define my eyelid with my brush and that shimmer. That looks so pretty. I actually really like the way that looks. Not hating on that look at all. I love it. So for the under eye, I'm going to grab with my pencil brush the shade Reminiscence down here. And I'm going to tight line the outer third of my under eye. And then with my REPHR number 14, I'm going to grab this color again and smoke it out, as well as bring it all the way to my tear duct area. Back and forth down here. I'm loving this eyeshadow look. So pretty. I'm going to grab my new eyeliner that I just bought 30% off at Sephora. This one is in the shade Berry Sweets. I needed a pink eyeliner, and I'm putting it in the waterline. I think it mixed with my blackish looking shadow and it turned a little red, but it is what it is. I'm leaving it. Let me go ahead and put on some mascara and show you my final look with the Silvery Bliss eyeshadow palette. Back with mascara on, and I also put on some super dainty falsies. These are the Kiss, the new natural effortless minimal look lashes in the style Gold Hoops. And they're pretty because they're very natural looking, but they're nice and long, so they add a bit of volume to the lashes. Anyways, here is my look with the Silvery Bliss eyeshadow palette. And let's go ahead and create the first look with the Rosy Jingle eyeshadow palette. I think I want to start with the shade Joyful, and I am going to blend that yellow matte shade all throughout the crease of my eye. I'm using a REPHR number 15 brush and building intensity. Now that I have that yellowy shade all throughout the crease, let's go ahead and mix it up a bit. I think I'm going to choose the shade Sweet Moments next. So with the REPHR number 1, I'm going to grab Sweet Moments, and I'm going to tap that color on the outer third of my eyelid, and slowly blend it into my yellow crease shade. Back and forth up here, and then inner corner as well. So inner corner of the eye, tapping that shade, and then blending it up into the crease with the tip of the brush. I'm going to make things a bit more intense Switching to an even smaller, more detailed blending brush, this is the Shoto 00 from REPHR, and I'm going to grab the shade Rosy Jingle, and I'm going to intensify the outer third of the eye further with it. Ooh, we are looking neon, and blend it into the previous color with the tip of the brush. And once again, the same thing to the inner third. I want the yellow to show up more, so with a REPHR number 14, I'm going to maybe stamp it. Yeah, stamping it will work better. Stamp the yellow on the upper edge of the pink. Okay, for the center, we have to do radiant so we can bring more yellow back, I think. So I'm going to tap radiant with my finger all throughout the center of the eyelid here. Just tap, tap, tapping it. And then back with my Shoto brush, I'm just going to tap over the edge of the shimmer. And New Year Wishes is going to go right over the center to lighten it up a bit. Just tapping it right here in the middle. I promise you the other look with this palette is going to be a lot less neon, but this is fun. The shade Rosy Jingle might just be the most neon pink shade I have ever owned. Back with the matte yellow color on a small blending brush to smoke it out underneath the eye. And New Year Wishes is going to be the shade right in the center of the under eye. I have a yellow eyeliner for my waterline. This one is the NYX Epic Wear eyeliner in the shade Cosmic Yellow. And then more New Year Wishes right here on the inner corner of the eye. Okay, so here's my first look with the Rosy Jingle palette before any mascara or lashes. Back with mascara and lashes on, and this right here is my first look with the Rosy Jingle palette. Really nice and neon and pink and yellow, and I'm quite liking it actually. But when I do my next look with this palette, I'm going to use all of the more toned down shades that are in it that are still beautiful and lovely. So take a look right here before I take off my eye makeup. This is the look with Silvery Bliss, which I really love, and then my first look with the Rosy Jingle palette. I'm back and we're going to create look number 3. I already did it on this eye and I am really loving it. So let's go ahead and get started. And the first shade I used was this one down here, which is called Blue Cream, on a REPHR number 15 brush. And this one, because it is such a light pastel purple shade, in order to get it to really show up, I would recommend, instead of swiping, that you tap it first with your brush in order to get a really good amount of pigmentation. So I'm first tapping it with my REPHR number 15, and then I'm just going to swipe the upper edge so that it blends nicely. And now we have a really nice amount of color all throughout the crease. With the REPHR number 1, I'm grabbing this shade right here called Warmth. And this one I'm going to add to the other third of my eyelid and slowly build it up to the crease. This one I'm also tapping first, and then I'm going to start swiping so that they blend together nicely. With the tip of the REPHR number 1 brush, I'm going to use that same shade Warmth on a REPHR number 3 to define the outer third of the lower lash line. And then with the REPHR number 14, I grabbed the color Toffeet down here and intensified the outer corner a little more / warmed it up a bit with that color. And so I'm doing little circles on the outer third and blending it slightly into the crease. And then I used 3 different shimmers. I started with the lavender shimmer called Dreamy and added it right back here, not all the way to the outer corner, but almost, with my finger. Then the shade Pure Silver, and I'm adding it right in the center of the eyelid. And for the inner third, the shade Sparkling. Ooh, I forgot to use the color Celebration Heart. So I'm tapping that super light blue shimmer on the inner third right here. I will say you can kind of see the different shifts of the different shimmers I applied, but it's not a huge difference between them. Because all of the shimmers in this palette are so reflective, they just all end up looking very bright. And then back to my light lavender matte to smoke out my lower lash line all the way to the tear duct area. Lastly, I'm adding an eyeliner to my waterline, and this is the Glossier No. 1 eyeliner in shade Muse, which is a light lavender shade. And that's it. This is my second look with the Rosy Jingle palette. Let me put on some mascara and lashes, and I'll be back to show you the final results. Back with mascara and lashes on, and this is the final look with the Rosy Jingle palette. I absolutely love the way this came out. It's nice and lavender mostly, which I absolutely love, and of course very sparkly. All of the shimmers in the Oden'S eye palettes are super sparkly, so if you are into very metallic, very sparkly eyeshadows, you will definitely like these. As far as color stories are concerned, I honestly really loved the look I created with this palette right here, but overall my favorite color story is still the one from the Rosy Jingle eyeshadow palette, mainly because this one has 4 different reds, and I'm just not in the mood for red eyeshadow as of, I don't know, the past 3 years maybe. Honestly, absolutely loved playing with both of these palettes. The lighter matte shades do perform well. Just make sure that you build them up just like I did my purple today by tapping them, and they will stay pigmented on the crease of the eye. My recommendation when it comes to this collection, based only on my personal preference, would be the Rosy Jingle palette right here. I don't think it's the most Christmassy palette color story wise, but it does have some spectacular looking shimmers, and it is a good holiday palette overall, even though it has some pastels. I don't know, am I contradicting myself with that? I like it. I guess because I'm wearing like a pink Christmas sweater today, I'm like, yeah, sure, pastels for Christmas. This is definitely more Christmassy than this one, but I just like this one better, so I don't know. Anyways, the performance of the palettes are good. As it's usual when it comes to Oden'S eye, they have incredible formulas. Is this like a must-have collection? Not really. Is it pretty? Yes. Will this Christmas palette be fantastic for the spring season? Absolutely. But I don't know that these are must-have palettes to me, even though I have thoroughly enjoyed playing with them. So I guess those are my thoughts on this collection. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And if you are going to be shopping for these palettes, don't forget to check out using code PATTY10 so you can get 10% off of your purchase. Don't forget to please give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love you all so much. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye.